Pling, pling, pling.
These are the top 5 creepiest pastas. Hey, do you want to hear something scary?
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening line to every bad creepypasta ever written.
Gotcha, Sapphire.
I feel like we're supposed to know who that is, but people who are coming here to see a creepypasta video aren't gonna know who that is.
These are the top 5 creepiest pastas.
Other possible titles include the first 5 things that came up when we typed creepypasta into Google.
You thought I was the creepiest thing on the internet?
An uninformed host in problem glasses and vibrantly colored hair speaking on behalf of a feminist blog website telling us what the best stories in our genre are. That is pretty terrifying.
Ha ha ha, I'm close.
Ha ha ha, I'm weeping for the future of an entire genre of literature.
A lot of people like to disparage creepypastas because they don't think that they're scary.
Who exactly is saying this? The majority of people I see commenting on creepypastas that they've read, say that they're terrifying, even to the level of Jeff the Killer and Happy Appy.
But open your heart, open your mind, turn off them lights, and let me prove the haters wrong!
Oh, I get it. You just said people hate creepypasta because you wanted to position yourself as an insider and the spokesperson defending the genre when actually you know nothing about it.
Turn off them lights.
I know that you said turn the lights on instead of off by accident, but it really says something that was just left in the video and nobody caught it. I know that I like to read creepypastas with all the lights on and some smooth jazz playing while I'm just sipping a nice warm glass of milk.
Number 5, Jeff the Killer.
Jeff the Killer does not belong on any list of the best creepypastas. Jeff the Killer belongs on a list of the most popular creepypastas, the most well-known creepypastas. But the fact that you've included him in the top 5 of the best creepypastas ever written shows that you have a stunning lack of insight into what you're speaking about.
Oh my god, look at the guy!
Does anybody else get the impression that she actually hasn't even seen the picture that's being overlaid right now?
Oh my god, look at the guy!
Oh my god, look at that Photoshop job! I think the only thing that's scary about this picture is how far it's spread.
It is unsurprising that when that picture surfaced on the internet, a lot of lore started popping up surrounding it.
Why do you not find it surprising that a single, slightly scary picture has become so widely used and has so much written about it? I would think that would be the definition of surprising.
But nobody actually knows the origin story of that dude.
People widely accept a single Jeff the Killer story as the canonical origin story for Jeff. That's the one where he gets set on fire at a birthday party. There is no actual origin of Jeff the Killer because Jeff the Killer is not a real person. The creator of the photograph didn't write an origin story for him when he posted the photo, so there's no real quote-unquote origin. There's just what people have written. That said, people widely accept one origin, but I don't think you actually probably looked that far into it.
One theory is that if you look at this picture of Jeff the Killer for too long, he will find you and murder you for no other reason than he likes to murder.
I'm not saying that that theory doesn't exist somewhere in the bowels of the internet, but I haven't heard that one until now. Maybe you're confusing it with Smile Dog?
But guess what? It ain't true.
Do you mean that a magical killer won't come and get me because I looked at a picture? You're saying that's not true? I can't believe it.
Tired of all the conspiracy theories and blatant lies?
Are you tired of the theories and lies? Why, watch our top 5 video consisting of nothing but theories and lies.
4chan's forum, X,
Yeah, that's backwards.
went on a fact-finding mission to find out who this Jeff guy really is. Turns out, it was a marketing ploy from the Saw films.
So I think we can find where snarled.com found their information. This is the Daily Dot. This is an article from 2013 about 4chan hunting down the origins of Jeff the Killer. But yeah, if you look at this article, it has some theories about where Jeff the Killer came from and why. The number one theory is that it was a viral marketing campaign for Saw 5. About 10 days after Jeff's photo popped up on Newgrounds, Lionsgate released the 5th installment of the popular slasher series, Saw. In the series, the antagonist, Jigsaw, uses a scary-looking puppet named Billy to communicate with his victims. Billy's resemblance to Jeff set X off. No, Jeff the Killer looks nothing like this. Just because he has a white face and a red mouth and black around his eyes doesn't mean he looks like a puppet with spirals on his cheeks. I mean, the connection is silly. The connection is silly. This is just a 4chan post about the whole fucking thing going on. When one ex-member asked YouTube user Cecile where he found Jeff's photo, he got this response. "Did you rent that movie yet? That might give you some clues. Jeff the Killer, it's a joy to all. Feel free to also leave a comment." So the entire theory that Jeff the Killer was created as a viral promotion for Saw 5 is because Cecile, if that's how you pronounce his name, posted a reply to somebody with the picture in it. That's the entire reason for the theory, and that is represented in this top 5 video as just the fact. It's not true. Jeff the Killer was a Saw promotion. What? Excuse me? What the fuck? By the way, there's multiple theories on here. Katie Robinson. People know that theory, I'm sure. Jeff the Killer is not human. Jeff the Killer is your favorite girlfriend. They say he's based on overly attached girlfriend. There's multiple theories on here, but the makers of this top 5 video just stopped at number 1. They just read number 1 and said that was the truth.
Which makes sense, because he looks a lot like Jigsaw with his mask off. It's just really upsetting.
Jigsaw with his mask off looks like this. Now I'm not even sure you know what Saw is.
It's kind of a bummer. Number 4, Footsteps.
I actually have never heard of this creepypasta, so I'll leave it to some expert out there to tell me in the comments what you got wrong about this one.
Number 3, Suicidal Squidward.
Do you mean Squidward's suicide? The video that you called Missing SpongeBob SquarePants Episode in your video description? I don't understand. I mean, are you trying to avoid triggering people in the description, or are you trying to avoid being demonetized by YouTube by mentioning suicide, or what's going on with this Missing SpongeBob SquarePants Episode title in the description, and then just calling it Suicidal Squidward by mistake in the video? It's just like, I don't understand how you can not only flub the title once, but flub it twice, and then not catch it, and not look back to research what you're doing before putting the video up. And if it's purposeful, if the title was changed in the description purposefully to not have the word suicide in it or whatever, it just is just straight up lying. It's misrepresentation. It's, the story has a title, and to not use its proper title is just, I can't even put into words how offensive that must be to a creator, to have people just say, I don't like the title you chose, so I'm going to use a different one. But maybe it just was a mistake. I'm not sure which is worse.
Whoo, doggy, do I hate this one? Yes, I do. Yes, I do hate this one.
Then why is it on your list of top 5 creepypastas?
There's a legend of a missing SpongeBob SquarePants episode wherein Squidward kills himself.
So what? You've never heard of any stories or movies or songs or anything else where someone offs themselves? I mean, you're acting like this is some big affront. I know where this is going. I know where this sort of thing is going. Hi guys, I'm a big fan. I've read all the creepypastas. I know all about Jeff the Killer and Smile Dog and Slender Man and the Rake. And I just wanted to let you guys know that these themes of suicide and all these different icky things, yeah, they've got to go. See, I'm the expert here, so yeah, you're going to be writing what I say from now on.
Horrifying? Absolutely. Is that the worst part? No. Somehow it's not.
By the way, kudos for talking about how much you hate the story while using an actual photoshopped image of Squidward holding a gun to his own temple.
The episode starts out in a pretty typical way. Squidward is playing the clarinet.
What the fuck?
At a concert hall when SpongeBob starts annoying him.
Ah!
As Squidward wraps up the concert,
he makes potato knishes.
SpongeBob and the rest of the audience start to boo him.
There are actual photoshopped images of SpongeBob and company booing Squidward with hyper-realistic eyes. Could you not Google these pictures? Is it so beyond Snarled.com's research abilities that they can't Google fucking pictures to put in their video? They have to actually make them out of clip art. I think it took you more time to find and edit clip art than it would have just to Google image search fucking Squidward suicide.
Loudly. Oh yeah, and all their eyes were glowing red.
They had hyper-realistic eyes, like real people's eyes, as the story says, and their pupils were simply red. They had red, glowing eyes. You clearly, very clearly did not read anything you're talking about. I would assume that the people who made this video, and I'm not saying that the person speaking actually wrote the video. I don't know who did. I didn't look into it. I don't care to read the names. I'm not saying that she actually wrote the whole thing, but, you know, the thing is, it's obvious that nobody read these stories because they have gotten this from, like, some summary or something. You know, there's some website or probably another person's top 5 or top 10 list where they just sort of, you know, skimmed that and figured out what they wanted to say. Because to say people had glowing red eyes when the famous or infamous term in our community is hyper-realistic eyes, you know, just shows that a stunning lack of knowledge of the subject. And the reason people make these videos, I know it's clickbait. I know that these top lists are clickbait, and I know I shouldn't expect them to actually look into anything, but you know, when you're speaking from a position of authority, because this isn't some little kid or some, you know, awkward, you know, shut-in, you know, making a video like, you know, here are the top 5 things that I like. This is an actual professional production, and they're telling us, you know, what is or isn't good, like from a position of authority. And so I hold them to a higher standard when it comes to shit like this. I expect you to actually read the fucking work.
The next scene is Squidward sitting on his bed alone,
Oh my god, this video could not possibly get worse.
crying.
Oh my god, it just got worse.
As his cries get louder, the camera zooms in on his face when suddenly the screen glitches.
Let's all just take a minute to appreciate the image that was just flashed on screen for a moment. Let's all take this in. Let's just take a look and really appreciate this picture.
Well, that glitch was a flashing image, and that flashing image was, you guessed it, murder.
What is with this sudden animosity in this in the Squidward suicide listing here? There's like such a weird tone. Like, you know, you guessed it, it's a fucking murder in this dumbass story. Why is it on your top 5 list?
I don't know if you guessed that, but it was murder.
Is the point here supposed to be that murder is an obvious twist, or what exactly are you getting at here? I mean, I could tell you don't like it, but, you know, what specifically? Just the fact that a murder occurred, or...
If you freeze that glitch at exactly the right moment, you will see an image of a little girl face down in a pool of her own blood with one eyeball hanging out.
That's actually only one of multiple pictures of dead kids in the video, and it's not even the first one. It's interesting that you just picked that one out. I don't think you knew that there were multiple pictures in the video, and that wasn't even the first.
Then we flash back to Squidward with human bleeding eyes.
I can't help but hear this like a girl at Starbucks trying to tell the barista what she ordered because she got the wrong thing.
Human bleeding eyes.
It's like, no, I wanted the human bleeding eyes. Do you speak English? Oh my god. How hard is it? Human bleeding eyes.
Suddenly, we hear a deep voice laughing maniacally off camera.
Incorrect. The deep laughing actually came before that point, but I don't know why I'm nitpicking now.
The soundtrack cuts out and there's silence until you hear that same deep voice say in a whisper, "Do it!"
It's not said in a whisper, but I guess that sounds better when you're making up fake shit for your video.
And then, Squidward shoots himself in the head.
I can see the pain on your face at having to say that, but at least it's correct.
We can all agree that Squidward is kind of a wet blanket, but nobody wants to see that guy die. No. No! Okay.
So we're gonna go from I really hate this story and Squidward shoots himself in the head and all this stuff to just, you know, the bit about, you know, laughing about the idea of Squidward killing himself and, pretending that you want to see him commit suicide because he's a wet blanket. We're just going to make that complete hairpin turn. We're going to do a complete 180. We're going to 360 no-scope Squidward right in the fucking head for the joke at the end. Okay.
It's okay to have a breakdown, but it ain't okay to shoot yourself. So I'm gonna Weird Al this shit and make it less killy.
Wait, no. No, you're actually going to sit there and tell people how to write the story differently. You're going to rewrite it for people to make it less offensive. You're going to... Oh my god, I was right. It's starting. Oh, it's starting. Oh god, this is bad. Oh god. Okay, everybody out of Creepypasta. Everybody out. Everybody get the lifeboats, jump in, plummet into the fucking ocean, swim if you have to. This is a sinking ship. This is going down, and this is going down hard. Because this is the start. This is the beginning.
So how about instead of do it, the guy off camera says eat it? Because I'm pretty sure that we can all agree that eating your feelings is very normal and healthy. Normal. That's a message we can all get behind. Eat your feelings.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or if you're being serious. That's the point we've gotten to. I don't know if you're legitimately suggesting people eat their feelings away and we should just all accept that and be happy with it. I can't tell if you're joking.
Nom nom, nom nom. I am eating. Nom nom. Number 2, Russian sleep experiment.
Let me see if I can guess what you're going to say next. The Russian sleep experiment is about a German experiment that has nothing to do with sleep or staying awake. It's actually an experiment where people are experimenting with different genders. And then Squidward and Jeff the Killer have a cupcake eating contest. And that's what that story is about. And guess what? The truth? It was all a viral promotion for Bic razors. But don't cut your wrists with Bic razors, because that's a bad thing.
The Russian sleep experiment hits a little too close to home for me.
Why do I feel like this is going to be connected to Donald J. Trump?
As you know, or should know by now,
the government hates you!
The government hates you!
I mean, not for the past 8 years, but currently in 2017 and for the next 4 to 8 years, the government hates you, just so you know. And who better to tell us about governmental oppression than this fine young woman from a middle-class or upper-middle-class lifestyle who gets paid to make YouTube videos that don't research anything and are full of misconceptions. Huh.
With that in mind, the Russian sleep experiment...
Here's where it really becomes clear that there's some weird undertone of an agenda in this video, and it's very strange. I don't know why it exists, but... why would we have to keep in mind that the government hates us? Because she says, the government hates you, and she says, now keeping that in mind, the Russian sleep experiment is about blah, blah, blah. It's like, why would we have to keep that in mind? There's absolutely no connection between those two statements. There was no need to say, the government hates you. I mean, it's fine to hold that position, and I would agree with you in most regards. But it's not really connected here. It's like a strange non sequitur. It would be like saying grass tastes bad. Now, keeping that in mind, the Russian sleep experiment is about, it doesn't make sense.
With that in mind, the Russian sleep experiment was an experiment wherein Russians kept people awake for far too long.
Oh yeah, that's all there is to it. They just kept them up for a long time. There's no further setup than that.
Oh, you stayed awake for a long time? Haha, I went to college too.
Gender studies?
Oh, it was because of gas-based stimuli? I haven't done that yet, but I am open to new experiences.
Yeah, it was gender studies.
In the 1940s, Russian researchers quarantined 5 political prisoners who were deemed enemies of the state.
And for some reason, they apparently made a 1980s Nintendo game about it.
The prisoners were told that they would be freed if they complied and stayed awake for 30 days. Lies!
I like to think that you just realized what your video is full of,
Lies!
and just suddenly had like an outburst, like a moment of clarity, but yeah. I'm going to be skipping ahead in the video a bit because she actually gives a pretty good rundown of the Russian sleep experiment up until this happens.
But the creepiest part of it is that nobody else in the room seemed to react to his screaming. But I get that. That's me, like, every day. Annie, 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 Annie. What? Hey.
Mommy! Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
So if Snarled.com rips off Family Guy, and Family Guy rips off The Simpsons, and The Simpsons rip off The Flintstones, and The Flintstones rip off The Honeymooners, my God, we're disappearing down the rabbit hole of rip-offitude here, folks. But in all seriousness, why are they trying to be funny? Funny in quotation marks. This is supposed to be top 5 creepypastas. This is supposed to be based on horror fiction. And I have no problem with humor relating to horror and things like that. But I don't get the overall premise of this video. Because the humor is not coming from creepypasta, from horror, from the stories, from anything like that. The humor is all coming from like this sort of one-woman show performance of the host, basically talking about herself and how she likes to eat cupcakes and how she likes to annoy people and how she went to college and, you know, things like that. I don't understand why this video has to be funny in that regard, why it has to be a comedic sketch performance video. At the beginning it said you want to know something scary. I'm still waiting to know something scary because all you're doing is shitting on the stories that are supposedly the top 5 best stories and getting a whole bunch of shit wrong and throwing in a teaspoon of agenda and, you know, then making these horrible, horrible jokes. I don't understand it. It's beyond me. Is this video part of an ARG? I would think so, if not for the fact this came from a large website with a reputation.
Number 1, Slender Man.
So the number 1 on your list of top 5 creepypastas is something that is not a creepypasta. But I guess nobody should be surprised because Slender Man is the number 1 on every one of these fucking lists.
I am Slender Man.
Let's agree to never do that again!
We all know the lore of the Slender Man, but if you don't, essentially he is a big dude wearing a suit, lives in the woods, has a thing for kids.
I wish the entire video was that brief. Legitimately, I think that was actually good. That was a good summary of Slender Man. It's funny in that it is reducing it down to the absolute most basic description. Has a thing for kids. Funny. I wish that the writing here was the writing for the entire video. Not just because it would be shorter.
He's like 8 feet tall and has no face, although some people do say that his face appears differently to everybody who sees him in person.
Another upper-class, cis-het white male appropriating the features of others.
Here's some coolness for your asses. The Slender Man dates all the way back to 1497, where a picture of what was thought to be the Grim Reaper without his cloak surfaced.
No. The painting is not real. I mean, it's real in that it exists, but it's not from that time period. That's another misconception / lie that you're just putting out there without looking into it. Yeah, that's somebody made the image and then it was claimed that it was from that time period and that it was supposed to be the Grim Reaper without his cloak, and yeah, no.
Although I have a hard time believing this because we all know that the Grim Reaper is a 16-year-old girl named Tiffany.
What?
So, get hip, 1497. Here's the whackness of it all.
The fact that you just used the word whackness?
People be killing for this creepy thin man. And I'm not talking cool Crispin Glover creepy thin man. No siree, no ma'am.
This is an excellent way to set up discussion about the actual Slender Man stabbing by joking about it and saying, you know, girls be killing for him. You know, like, that's so such a wonderful way to preface this whole thing. Because, you know, Squidward shooting himself in the head, that's too much, but actual girls stabbing their friend and trying to kill her, that's just comedy gold right there. By the way, you know, when you say people are killing for him, I mean, you know, there's one incident and they didn't kill her, thank goodness. So another lie chalked up. But let's roll right into you just, you know, using the stabbing of a young teenage girl to your advantage.
Now this is some real life business for you. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls tried to murder their friend in the name of the Slender Man.
I know it's really, really, really wrong of me to say this, but doesn't it kind of look like the host is just showing us pictures of her daughters?
They stabbed her 19 times, and somehow this young queen survived.
This queen, this miraculous child who did the impossible, who I'm now going to use in my video just to score some creepy points.
And her two idiot ex-friends are...
These are children. These are children with psychological problems. It seems like the roles have flipped here, and now I've become the social justice warrior, and you're the horrible neckbeard shitlord? I don't know. It's kind of an odd reversal here.
And her two idiot ex-friends are just now, in 2017, going to trial.
Fucking American legal system and its ability for people to prepare for their own trials before they happen. Fucking hell. The government hates you.
I don't like anything that perpetuates violence, so I decided to create new lore surrounding the Slender Man that both me and my baby Satan can get behind.
Oh, good. She's gonna tell us how to write creepypastas better so they don't cause problems for people and offend people and trigger people and cause people to be violent. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. Everybody take notes, all the writers out there. This is how you will be writing stories going forward.
Give me that new-new. Give me that new-new. Deep in the woods of Los Angeles, California, lives a tall, beautiful man with long brown locks, flowing chest hair, and no face. Don't get me wrong, he's still a creepy monster, just a monster with chest hair.
I feel so objectified right now.
And instead of summoning kids to the forest to do his evil bidding,
that's not actually what Slender Man does, but okay.
He summons kids to the forest to do my not as evil bidding. And all I ask of slightly slender but still pretty strong man is just a lot of fried chicken. He'll lure children to the forest and he'll send them off in shifts to get me fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and coleslaw and biscuits.
In case anybody out there forgot, this video is the top 5 creepypastas. I just wanted to mention that because you wouldn't know it from watching the actual video.
And then I'll eat them, and that's the end of the story.
You're gonna eat the children? That's worse.
Ooh, creepypasta!
I think that right there, that clip, summarizes your entire thought process related to creepypasta in general. I think that, ooh, creepypasta is like as serious as you take it and as much as you're willing to give it in terms of legitimate thought or criticism. I think that you don't take any of this seriously at all, which is fine. Nobody has to take any of this shit seriously, especially a genre that includes stuff like Happy Appy, Jeff the Killer, I Hate You, you know, different things like that. You know, you don't have to take it seriously. That's your own decision. That's your own choice as to what you do or don't like. But don't make a fucking video telling us that you know all about everything and here are the facts and here are the top 5 things. You know, when you don't fucking care and you don't fucking know. This is just straight up clickbait. This is just straight up, you know, not giving a fuck about what you're talking about and not knowing jack shit about it. I want that clip of this host saying, "Woo, creepypasta." I want that clip to become a meme.
Ooh, creepypasta!
I want that to be shared around whenever somebody sees someone talking about creepypasta or horror in general that they obviously don't understand and don't really care about in any way. I know it's a very specific meme, but it's my hope and dream. And I don't want my dream to be memes. I don't know. Who is this for? Who is this for? Who is this for? Who is this for?
Thanks slightly
Who is
slender,
this
but still
for?
strong, man.
So what is the problem with this video? I mean, in and of itself, it's pretty innocuous. It's not going to do much. It's not going to change anything. It's just an innocent, strange, yet agenda-driven video with some weird mix of failed comedy and alternative facts. You know, it's not really that big of an issue. But I see it as part of a bigger problem, which is the mainstreamification of creepypasta. You know, we're going to get all the clickbait videos, we're going to get all the terrible narrations, we're going to get all the horrible adaptations and rip-offs of creepypasta in movies and television. We're going to get all this shit going on, and it just is the dissolution and destruction and maltreatment and corruption of a genre of fiction, a creative genre, that I think was still growing. It was still in its growing pains. It was still forming. It hadn't come out of the cocoon yet. It wasn't yet a beautiful butterfly. I think that creepypasta was in the process of becoming something much better than it is, and much better than it was. And I think that it was on the road to somewhere special. And I think that right now, people are coming in and picking it up in its infancy, basically, and twisting it and turning it and corrupting it and remolding it and forcing their own opinions onto it and things like that. And I think that it's all basically going to essentially kill the genre, because now that you can get a movie deal or a television deal or whatever, I think that a lot of people are going to be going for that. They're not necessarily going to be going for growing as a creator or trying to think of what the best use of their talent is. I think a lot of people are just going to go for what will get me views on YouTube, what will get me narrators reading my story, what will get me fans drawing my cool new killer, you know, making out with their OC. You know, I think that this is basically just a too many cooks situation, and yeah, you got all the people coming in from the woodwork, all the rats climbing out of the walls, trying to get their slice of the cheese. And I count this video as one of those types of deals where they just saw creepypasta was popular, so they made a fake-ass video pretending to love creepypasta while simultaneously knowing nothing about it. And, you know, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to keep happening with more and more frequency. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of sad. Kind of a sad video. Sad note to end on. So I should probably end with a joke. I like to eat fried chicken. Woo! I'm idiosyncratic and clumsy. Look at me. I don't do things the normal way. Are these jokes? No? Well, then you're a bigot. Pling. 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 Dramatic music, dramatic music, dramatic music.